Hey, Rebuild family. So glad to welcome everyone back to another episode of the Rebuild Talks with Tiffany. Today, I have Christina Flach joining us. I'm so excited about this episode because there's so much stuff that I want to talk about. There's so many questions that I have, and I'm just ready to get into it. Christina, welcome, first of all, to the show.
Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for having me today.
I would love it if you could just give us an intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Christina Flach. I'm a celebrity makeup artist. I'm a mother of five. I'm a beauty expert on California Live NBC. I am a beauty contributor for Women Fitness Magazine. And I'm the founder and CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup.
I love that. I love that. So I'd love to let's start at the very beginning. What kind of kid were you, Christina?
I was a pretty shy kid. I was very sporty. I was, played a lot of sports, but I was quite shy. But then I could be incredibly loud. So I'm an introverted extrovert.
Right. I tell people the same. I tell people the same about me. I need my quiet time. I need time to decompress and like kind of fill my tank, but then I'm ready to go again.
Exactly.
And were you like a kid were you interested in makeup or in skincare as a young person?
Yeah,
Like,
I was into it, but I was never obsessed with it, and I never in a
mhm,
million years expected it to be my career. So
wow.
yeah, I wasn't one of those girls that was like applying tons of makeup and just wanting things like buying new products all the time. I liked it. I thought
Mhm.
it was fun, but it was not something that was not a major factor in my young life.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand. I think I felt like that also when I was younger. My mom sold Avon. I think
Oh, really?
many women did, like in the, late
Mm-hmm.
70s, early 80s
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yes.
And she would always allow my sister and I to get maybe one or two products every so often.
Oh, how
And
fun.
I would hold on to those lip glosses or, a hand lotion or whatever it was. Like I would really hold on to it. I was wondering how did Pretty Girl makeup come about? Like how did you get started? What piqued your interest?
Well, I was a mother of five, and I was in a constant battle with my lip gloss and my water. I was trying to stay hydrated, and then the lip gloss would come off. And then if I got one that was matte and like long lasting, and it would dry out my lips and crack. So
Hmm.
I thought, well, how hard can it be to create your own lip gloss? And I started working with a beauty chemist to formulate it. I wanted it hydrating, antioxidating. I wanted it to be, I wanted to look on good on all skin colors because, my family and friends, we are all shades of the rainbow. And
Hmm.
so that took a lot. I thought it was going to be like a week long project that would be out in Sephora, out in the world. And I was totally mistaken. It took a year, and it was like, they first you work on the formulation of the texture, and then you get that right, and then you mess with the colors, and it goes back and forth, and they send you samples, and then you try it out and put it on a bunch of people, and then you send back your notes, and it just kind of goes on and on and on. But I enjoyed every minute of it, and I think that's what's important when you're an entrepreneur, to figure out what you love doing so much that you would do it for free, and then figure out how to get paid, because it takes so much longer, so much more time, money, effort, everything than you can imagine. And if you're not loving every minute of it, you're going to fail because you're going to resent it, and you're just going to be like, this is no fun. I don't like it. So I think it's super important to love it. And then it's kind of expanded my career, because then I actually wrote for Soap Opera Digest for years as a celebrity basher. And then I started writing for, different magazines as a beauty expert. And then I went on NBC as a, beauty expert as well. And I didn't expect to do any of these things. I never thought I would be
Hmm.
a writer or on TV talking about anything. Made me really uncomfortable to be in front of the camera, but I've had these opportunities, and my TV husband, who's the co-host on the show that I'm on, he said, look, get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is everything you know. You don't even have to think. There's nothing to be scared of. And so now, after he said that, he was right, because this is my world, and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm comfortable with it. But it also made me change my perspective on pretty much everything. That feeling of like, oh, I'm scared, oh, I don't want to do this. Now I know that's excitement. I know that something really great's going to happen because I've got that feeling. So I've changed my whole attitude with fear. It's excitement now.
I love that. I love that. There are a couple of points that I want to touch on. Um, but since we're talking about fear, I love that. I feel the same way. Once I feel that nervous energy, that
Right,
kind of bit of fear, I know that this is something that I'm excited about. This is something that I'm passionate about, and something that I care about very, very
right,
deeply. And so
right,
I love using that as a really good indicator that I'm on the right track. And I think that, here at the Rebuild, we're talking about rebuilding our lives or making major changes in careers or making changes in relationships, coming back from the loss of a loved one or the loss of a job or the loss of um, a relationship. And I wonder, what was it? Because often people get stuck at this specific point. And I wonder, what was it that made you think that you could do it? Because it's one thing to have experience in makeup or experience in cosmetics. And it's another thing to say, I can create something that's going to make a difference. And I wonder, what was that moment for you? When did you think, that you had something so special that needed to be shared with the world?
I think when I started Pretty Girl, I thought, wow, I think that's a really cool name. I can't believe someone else hasn't done it. Who doesn't want to be a pretty girl? And
Right.
I think that, but I had a bunch of different moments like that. I think when I went on NBC and when I started writing for these magazines, I didn't expect to do that. But then I thought, you know what? Say yes to everything. Be open to it. What's the worst that happens? You're not good at it and they don't invite you back and you go on with your life. And it's kind of exciting because all of the different things that I do are all connected. I have my podcast as well, which I never expected to do, called I'm Too Busy. But I always thought, how cool would it be if I could just interview my clients? Because I have some really remarkable clients that I've worked with, and they've been generous enough to come on my show. And so when I was asked, this company in New York contacted me and asked if I would be interested in having my own show. And I, at first, of course, said absolutely not. Like, that's really hard. And I'm like, I don't know how. And ugh. But then I'm with these people all the time. And I just thought, I'm going to do it. Like, why not? And it's been so great because it's given me so much confidence to be in front of the camera, to speak with people. I'm super interested in everyone's life. And that's kind of part of my job as a makeup artist. You get to know people and you figure out, okay, does this person want to talk? Do they not? Like, you really quickly learn to read the room. And I really enjoy putting time and effort into a script. I really appreciate when I'm being interviewed that someone has put time and effort into asking questions and not just, having me do all the talking. It's like, it's your show. Do your homework, be prepared.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen so many times where I go on a show, they don't know my name, they haven't read my press kit, they don't know what I do. And I just to me, the greatest gift that someone can give me or I can give to someone is time. And if I'm, going to get in front of a camera, because no one's going to buy my Kool-Aid if I am a disheveled mess. So for me to get in front of a camera, the makeup and the hair, and I have to look somewhat presentable. If I do that and the person isn't prepared to have me on, it drives me crazy. So, and I think the best part of having my own show, I'm sure you think the same, is, finding out about what's this person's life? What kind of questions can I ask that have not been asked a zillion times? And how do I get to dig in deeper to them? And so I've really enjoyed that process of taking time to get to know someone at a really deep
Mhm.
level,
I think that's amazing. And I totally agree with so many parts of that. It just grinds my gears when people aren't prepared for
right?
podcast or an interview. And I don't think that every single question that one writes down needs to be asked because, I do
The
want the
flow, it
podcast
has
to
to
be,
flow.
yeah, it
Right.
has
I
to
get it.
flow. It has to be
Yeah, but you at
organic,
least
but they
have,
need to know something. Yeah, yeah.
you
And
at
you see
least
it so
need to
many
know what I
times.
do. It's like, I mean, I've been on shows where they're like, so what do you do? What's your last
Oh,
name? I'm
wow.
like, oh my God. That's
But
when
you
I
know
call
what's
my assistant
interesting?
and go crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
do not ever waste my time with this
But you
stuff.
know what I've noticed lately? I've noticed, Christina, people wear that almost as a badge of honor to say, "Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. Like, I've never heard of that." Like, do your research. Like,
They
people
don't
like to
have a
say, "Well, I've
show.
never, I've never heard of this place, or I've never heard of that thing." Well, do your research. Like with these little,
I know. With
you
AI,
know,
go on your
with
chat GPT and
yeah,
figure it out. Like, it's
absolutely,
so easy if you put some time and effort into it. And people
yeah,
know, they can tell when, you're prepared or you're not. It just, I don't
yeah.
know. I think if you're going to have a show, be prepared. And if you're not, then don't have it. Don't waste people's time.
Right. Right. I want to ask you a question around this. Do you think that that happens more with women? Do you think it happens more with men? Like, I wonder, is it something that has to do with that? Is it like,
No,
where
I've
where do
had
you
it
think that
both.
comes
I've
from?
had men and
Yeah.
women doing it. If
Hmm.
anything, I'd say it's probably more, I don't know, it's equal. I've had
Yeah.
some bad interviews with some men and I've had some bad interviews with some women, but it's just inevitable if you're going to go on a bunch of shows.
Right.
Um, Even if you, like, I ask my assistant who books me on shows, I always say, please look at their past shows. See if they have a proper thumbnail. See if they have a website. See if
Right.
they have any engagement at all. If anyone is
Right.
watching this show. Because if they're not,
Yeah.
then I don't, like, I've got an article to write or, I've got a million things to do. So,
Because you're too busy.
because
You're
I'm
too
too
busy.
busy. Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking about you're too busy, I love that you mentioned uh being a writer for Soap Opera Digest. So I got to tell
Yes.
you, here in New York, here in the East Coast, I'm from New York, especially in New York. Soap operas were really, really big here. They were a huge thing.
Your
It was
stories. Did your
all
grandma call them her stories? Like she's going to
yes,
go watch your
yes, they were the
stories.
stories. Yeah, and it was
I
such a big
love
thing. I
how
could not.
grandmothers always call the soap operas their
Yes,
stories. I
the
don't know
story.
where they got it.
Yes,
My grandmother would be like, well, I was kind of raised watching soap operas, if I'm going to be
hmm
totally honest. My grandmother,
yes,
my mom watched Guiding Light and All My Children. So I grew up watching it. So when they asked me to write, my publicist got me this writing gig on Soap Opera Digest. I thought, wow, I've really made it now. I'm writing about
yeah.
soap. My grandmother, my
Oh
mom
yeah.
would be so proud that I'm writing for Soap Opera Digest. And
It's such a big Soap Opera Digest was a really big thing here in New York, especially,
yeah.
at
Well,
the
my editor
supermarket,
was
you're
there.
waiting
Yes.
online.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, yeah, you want to grab it. You want to hear like the latest gossip. And I wonder, so the reason that this is so interesting to me is because when we're talking about certain things, it kind of harkens to a day that's kind a little bit in the past. I think there are some soap operas that still come on that stream or come on different different
Networks.
platforms,
Yeah.
right, networks. But I do wonder, you've had a career that started many years ago. And I wonder, as an entrepreneur, as a writer, as a TV personality and host, and all of the things that you are, how have you managed to keep your career fresh and exciting? That's one thing. And the other thing I would love to know is, how have you been able to rebuild your career as things change? So Soap Opera Digest it might still be a thing. I'm not sure if they still have paper copies, but you've just made so many pivots and changes, and I wonder how you've been able to do that.
I think just being open to change and to
Mhm.
opportunities. I look at these things, that I've been asked to do the TV shows or write for these magazines or all these different things that I do as like such a compliment. Like it's all kind of got to do with beauty and wellness, which is my thing. And so
Mhm.
I've been open to trying new things. And I think that's something that the beauty industry has taught me because it is constant change, constant, probably more so than any other career because the beauty industry is constantly changing. There's always new products. There's influencers. It's just constant change. So either you change or you die. So I like my career. I like what I do, and I find it interesting to have these different opportunities. I've had some funny things with Soap Opera Digest. I was a celebrity basher pretty much in that fashion area. There would be like three of us. And
Yeah.
I wasn't like I was totally truthful. Like what I would say, like if someone dressed great, I'd
Hmm.
be like, "Wow, you're gorgeous, you look amazing." And if you didn't, I'd let you have it. And I got a call from Sharon Case once. I don't know if you know who she is. She was on
Yeah.
Bold and the Beautiful,
Beautiful.
and I
Yeah.
think yeah, Bold and Beautiful Bold and Beautiful. Anyway, she called me and she's like, "Hi, this is Sharon Case. I'm from the show." And I go, "Oh my God, did I insult you?" And she goes, "Yes, but I love your lip gloss and I want to order some." And I said, "Well, I can't insult you and charge you." So she and I became friendly, and I always sent her, lipstick and lip gloss. And so
Oh,
that was
that's
funny. Yeah. And
amazing.
then another time, I just have these people, they come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, you write for Soap Opera Digest?" Like, I have had so many people just stop me in the supermarket and they're like, "Oh my God, that's you." So it was funny the things that like I became like known for, like and Soap Opera Digest. That shocked me. I've actually had some
Wow.
famous clients become so impressed when they know that I write for them. Because sometimes I'm kind of
Mhm.
embarrassed, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I do this." And they're like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
you've elevated yourself in my eyes." I'm like,
Wow.
"Oh, okay."
Have you
So what
ever
was,
written something that you've said, "Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that," or "Ooh,
oh,
I
I'm
got it
sure.
wrong." Yeah.
Sometimes a little. You know what? I try and do it in a kind, funny way. I'm not like
Hmm.
totally mean. I'm just pretty, I feel like, look, if you're going to be an actor or an actress, because there would be men and women in Soap Opera Digest that I would write about, if you're going on a red carpet, take some pride. Look nice.
Yeah.
Wear something
Yeah.
that fits well, that's flattering. Do your hair and makeup. Or don't be famous. It's pretty easy. So if you're going to go
Yeah.
out there on a red carpet and you're not going to look like the best version of you, I'm sorry. I'm not going to just sit there and sugarcoat it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Sometimes people definitely need to hear that. I want to get like the inside scoop. I'm not sure if you'll do it or not, but you have had so many amazing clients that you've worked with, and they're featured on your social media and your website, and just amazing people. And I wonder, I don't want you to tell me your favorite, but I want to tell you my favorite
Oh,
client
tell me.
that you've worked with.
I'd
Yes,
love to
yes,
hear.
yes, yes. Yes. So my favorite client that you've worked with is hands down my favorite chef, especially coming out of New York, and that's Tyler Florence. I think he is just amazing, and I love to see the way that he's always groomed so impeccably. And
Well,
it's
thank you.
so wonderful. Yeah, it's so wonderful to know that you're the one that's behind that. And I wonder just a little bit about what's the approach that you would take to, when you're grooming him. And yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about that. So he's a big deal here in New York because he was a chef here in New York back in the 90s.
Right.
Um, he worked at a restaurant down the block from where I worked.
Oh, no
And so
way.
he was very, very young. And so like we'd kind of run into each other, and I'd go into that restaurant to have lunch because it was literally the one place down the street. And you got an hour for lunch and you better figure it
Right,
out really,
right,
really
right,
quickly.
right.
So there was that. But then the other thing was he also started working at another restaurant that became like very, very famous and very well known due to a certain show that had four lovely ladies in it. And he's just always been one of my favorite chefs. I have his cookbooks, I watch his shows, his ultimate Thanksgiving, ultimate dinner party. And so, I just seeing him over all of these years, and much like your career has spanned so many years, I'm just interested, like, what's the approach that you use with a client like Tyler Florence?
Well, I've been working with Tyler for 17 years.
Oh
A
my gosh.
long, long time.
Oh
He's
my goodness.
I actually interviewed him on my show. I'm gonna have to send you the link. I
Yes,
have to send you. Yeah.
I saw.
He's the best. He's
Yeah.
as funny and kind, and he's just a joy. He makes me
Mhm.
laugh so hard. It's always an adventure. I could do a show. I should interview myself on my adventures with Tyler Florence. We have, been, I have done the Great Food Truck Race with him 3 times.
Yeah.
We have been in Louisiana. We've had midgets, and we've had these, Southern people show up with like a bottle. Oh, we had this one guy come. He had like cutoffs. I have a picture of it. It's so funny. He comes up to Tyler and I, and his shirt was like cut off, and he had like a bottle of water, and it was like half filled with something orangey. And he's like, "Mr. Florence, I made this. I want you to try it." And I'm like, and I'm always super polite and nice. And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice. That's so kind." And Tyler was so gracious and spoke to him. And when the man walked away, I'm like, "We are not touching this." I don't know what,
Absolutely
I
not.
don't know. It was,
What?
it was like this much left in this old
Yeah.
water bottle. It was so comical.
Yeah.
And we've been in places where in Houston once it was like January and it was freezing, and we were in this tent trying to keep warm, and this storm came and lifted the tent up, and we were laughing
Oh
so
my
hard. I'm
gosh.
trying to keep him like looking great on the camera, and it's just we just went to this Wagyu meat packing place to do a magazine shoot. And
Right.
we're in this, and it's freezing cold, and we have these things on our head and these like jackets we have to wear and all this. And he looks over at me and he's like, "It's always an adventure." I'm like, "Oh, it's never a dull moment with you, Tyler."
Right.
We just did a
Oh my
shoot last
gosh.
week. Actually,
Oh.
tomorrow on the 4th of July, something will be coming out for Hessen pans. We did a shoot last week. We also did a shoot last week for City Cruises. So if you ever come out to San
I
Francisco,
saw that.
yes,
I saw that.
yes.
I'm obsessed with
God.
Mother and Lux.
Oh,
And
that's so
no,
great.
this is a thing. Oh, you
Oh
don't
my
understand. Like,
God! This is why
love
I'm going to tell him
him.
this. The
Love
only
him.
reason you had me on was because of him.
Yeah.
He will love that. That will make his day. Tyler, are you happy?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I've
He'll
flown
be-
out
he'll
to
be
go to his
laughing
restaurant
so-
multiple times. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
Oh
God.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, his
he'll love
old
this.
El Paseo.
Oh yes, that was in our
yeah,
town.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He was
I
my
love- I love-
neighbor. So
Wow.
he lived literally, he and his wife, Tolan, who's one of my dear friends, lived 3 doors down from my husband and I in Mill Valley.
wow.
And that's how we met. And then I started
That's
working with him,
amazing.
and he's just, I love him to pieces. I really do. He's one of my dearest friends. He's helped my daughter is a fashion designer, and he wrote a letter to Central St. Martin's in London to help get her in, and she
Wow.
did, and she graduated, and then it was funny because my other client, Zach Posen, who's a fashion designer, he went to Parsons and Central St. Martin's just like my daughter had done. And the first time I worked with Zach, I told him, I said, "Oh my gosh, you won't believe it. My daughter went to Parsons and then Central St. Martin's." And he was so sweet. He's like, "FaceTime her. I want to meet her." And my daughter was like, "Oh my God, Zach Posen is FaceTiming me. I'm going to die." Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So I am so
Unbelievable.
blessed to have these amazing clients. I haven't interviewed Zach yet, and it's coming, Zach. Z, it's coming. So
That's right.
I haven't interviewed him, but I've had other clients. Like I've had 2 other clients that have a humanoid robot company here in the Bay Area, and they're
Oh,
super
wow.
interesting. We've been on TV. We shot the cover of Time magazine. We've done all these different shoots, and but there are 2 of them, 2 founders, and I've had them both on my show, and they've been amazing. And it's really fun because I know them so well, And it's fun for them. In fact, his Tyler's assistant Donna said she saw the interview and she said, "I love this so much because you show, you show the version of him that we know that most people don't know."
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah.
was really cool, and it makes me so happy, and I feel very proud when I interviewed an Olympian today on my show, and I love when my clients say, "Oh, wow, great question. Oh, that's good. I haven't been asked that
Hmm.
before." And I just
Hmm.
interviewed another client of mine. This is a doozy of one. So I shot the cover of San Francisco Magazine with this man named Greg Saras, and he is the chairman of an Indian tribe. And so I've
Oh.
watched Yellowstone, and I've kind of was expecting
Hmm.
the guy like that's on Yellowstone that is dark skinned and looks Indian. And this man comes out. He's like 6'3", very light skin, blue eyes, like
Hmm.
looks like a Vogue model, and he's 74.
Right.
And I'm
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I said to him, well, I'm getting him ready for the photo shoot. I'm like, okay, so was your dad the head of the tribe, or how did it go? And he goes, no, it's a really interesting story. He goes, I was adopted. My mom was Jewish. She got pregnant. My dad, and she was like 17, and his dad was like half Indian in this tribe, and her parents, shipped her up to Santa Rosa, California, Northern California.
Hmm.
She had this baby, and then they gave her a blood transfusion. It was the wrong blood, and she died. And so,
Oh my
no, this story's
gosh.
bananas.
Oh my
Then
goodness.
they put her family put him up for adoption with a family in Santa Rosa, and she was from a very wealthy family in LA. And he ended up having a really, his the woman that adopted him was super sweet, but the
Hmm.
father was not so kind to him, and he wasn't doing great in school. And then he met a teacher that just inspired him, and then he ended up going to UCLA, getting a degree, and then he went to Stanford. And then the people that were
Amazing.
head of the tribe came to him and said, look, the government has to acknowledge you as a tribe, or it doesn't count, or you don't have any land or anything. So
Yeah.
he tried for like 7 years to get them recognized as a
Hmm.
tribe by the government.
Hmm.
And he had done a film with Robert Redford, and he told him about the situation. And to this day, he's like, I don't know for sure, but I think Robert Redford spoke to President Clinton, because right before
Oh
the
my
end of his
gosh.
term, he recognized the tribe as a
Oh,
tribe.
that's
And they got this
amazing.
land, and now they've got this huge casino there. And
Hmm.
he's done so many extraordinary things for his tribe.
Wow.
Everyone that works there, that he has over 3,000 employees, they all have incredible medical care. They can go to, their kids can go to college, they'll pay for it. He does all this amazing, amazing things for the community. And so when I get the opportunity to work with someone like that, as a makeup artist, and then
Hmm.
the whipped cream and the cherry on top is that I get to interview them for my show.
Yeah.
It's so, it's just like the perfect combination. And
I love
I'm
that.
really blessed. I love what I do. I love writing. I love doing my show. I love doing my photo shoots, and I love working with your boyfriend, Tyler. I love him.
Yes. But you know
No.
that so that's this is first of all, his story is fascinating. I can't wait to hear more about it. Like that is an unbelievable experience to
Oh,
have gone
it's,
through.
yeah.
Unbelievable. I do wonder, this is my question for you. In having spoken to him and so many interesting guests that you've had, what's been a piece of, as they're telling you their experience, what's been a piece of advice that you've gotten or that you've gleaned from your conversations with these fascinating people that maybe you didn't expect to use immediately and then you found yourself leaning on? Like, was there something that stood out, an anecdote that you heard, a lesson that you heard that just really stood out for you?
That's a really good question.